And if we just kind of follow this out to the end here, he moves his king. He's trying to get it over towards my king's side of the board here to prevent against my my pawn advancement and promotion to queen over here eventually. His knight's stuck. His f-pawn's trapped. His d-pawn doesn't have many prospects for promotion itself because my king is defending that area. So he's in trouble. And the game's really lost at this point. I can afford to move my knight off of the square that it was on because I really don't need to defend my pawn because I want him to actually move his knight, so I'd love for him to take my pawn. He's not going to because that would spell certain doom and I would instantly promote to queen. And you know, now I'm just going to bring my knight out and I'll be able to take his pawn or do whatever I want with it at this point. Now he has to move his king back to defend that pawn, and you know, I'm going to create a threat on each side of the board, and you can see this is such a bad situation because you've got a threat of pawn promotion to queen on opposite sides of the board. There's no way a king alone could ever defend against that, obviously. So I'm just going to run my a pawn down. He develops his d pawn, but there's nothing that can happen there. I take it with my king, nullify that threat. He has really no moves. He's just moving his king around, and now you can see that pawn promotion is imminent. Moves his knight off the square. He wants to try to keep his knight. It's not going to help him. Either way, he might as well have kept it there and prevented this pawn at least from promoting to queen, but it didn't matter. So I go ahead and promote it. He moves his king back and promote my other queen. And game's over now. He's just going to run, and it's going to be a fast mate and checkmate. And that's not very remarkable. Obviously, you know, a human player would have resigned a long time ago. The turning point, though, and which was very key to look at, was when I declined the exchange of his knight, and we can actually go back to that. Let's back it up a little here. Okay, let's see, just a second, and we're almost there. Okay, right here, this position. I had a choice. I could either take his knight, or I could move my knight away, or I could move it to this very scary h5 square. And that was the turning point of the game, because once I moved it there, sure, he didn't have to take it, but with his pawn. But my next move would have been to put it onto f6. He would have been in check. He would have had to take it with his knight if he hadn't first moved his knight away. And then if he couldn't take it with his knight, he would have been in check. He would have been forked. He would have lost this pawn, his h-pawn, and then my h-pawn would have promoted. It just would have been bad things. So putting it on this square really forced him to take it, forced him to take the sacrifice, and forced him to lose, because he had no choice at that point. So, and that was a critical move. And think about it. Who would a human player normally make that move? Would they be willing to sacrifice their knight for that? Would they see the long-term outcome of such a move? You know, obviously a good chess player would see that. The thing about computers, especially computer opponents, when it comes to in-game play, they first are looking for, obviously, mate threats. And then they're second looking for the ability to seize material and gain a material advantage. So, mate was so far away, so many moves, so many ply away, that he couldn't possibly have seen that. All he saw was that he could gain a knight, gain 3 points for nothing right off the bat. So of course he's going to take that. In addition, that was his best move to take it, because any other move really would have been worse for him. And that's, at least playing against computer opponents, that's the one advantage that you're going to have, is that his algorithm, the computer algorithm, is not going to see things like the long-term ramifications of an eventual queen promotion. That doesn't carry as much weight as do immediate threats of mate and the ability to capture material. And I just, before we go here, I also want to address some of the other key points of this game, which were when an exchange is presented to you, you don't have to take it. You can let the opponent make the exchange, because his first move is to offer it. You can take it or you can decline it. And every time he did it 3 times in this game. Every time he did it, I did not accept his exchange. Only one time he even got to make the exchange. Another time he retreated, and then another time I retreated, or in this case, moved my knight to a winning square. So really think about that when you see an exchange. The whole game could turn on your decision to take it, to accept it, or to let him actually initiate it. So keep that in mind when you're playing. And I just really thought this was a very valuable game, and it was I would have to say pretty much my best game that I've played thus far, and clearly against a hard level. A difficult opponent. This is the hardest setting on this game that you can really play. So I'm pretty proud that I was able to win this, and I hope that anybody watching this can learn from it. So again, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.